If you're watching this, then you are watching my submission of Plants vs. Zombies Day Blindfolded. Yes, Blindfolded. We're going to be playing the entirety of the first world with a blindfold on. Pretty cool. Pretty excited about this. Now, of course, though, that relies a lot on hearing. And I wouldn't be able to be spoiled for the game. So we're going to have a little interesting audio setup here, and I have two commentators that are going to help guide you through this run as it is happening. So, Marcy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone, my name is Marcy. I am here helping Satan to commentate this blindfolded speedrun. Also joined by the wonderful Lori Dunnington. Say hi, Lori.
Hello.
And we're both quote-unquote Plants vs. Zombies speedrunners. She's a lot less quotation than I am. We both completed runs of varying degrees of assistance in this game. And this is going to be a very fun thing to show off. This is actually going to be shown on the console version, the 360 in this instance version of this game, as that's going to let us do things that the PC version does not allow us to do that makes this run possible to begin with. I say we can get into that once we actually get the run starting, but Lori, any opening thoughts you have for this too?
Controller is good for blindfold over mouse. It's kind of a big thing here.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's all
why
true.
we see the,
Continue.
that's why we see the console version here. For also a few other things. It's not just controller better than mouse. We have a few reasons.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that as we go. We've got our panel of experts here. They both have, indeed, as they said, have completed PvZ runs, played a lot of this game, and are definitely ready to go. Of course. And I just also wanted to mention that this is a submission marathon video generally, but of course these two, Lori D. Bunningtons and Marcy, are Fatals eligible. So if you are watching this as a Fatals GC member, this would be an eligible commentary set for the run if you were to accept this. So, I think with all of that said, we're probably going to get into it. I think the only other thing I want to mention is we're only going to be doing the first world of PvZ, Day, Blindfolded, and there's a few reasons for that, but chief among them are it is shorter, and it is much, much more doable than any of the other worlds in PvZ. I will very likely be including a Blindfolded mini-games incentive alongside this, so there are other things you can do in this game blindfolded, but Day is kind of the best continuous run for a while that you can do in a reasonable amount of time. So yeah, I think that's about what we need to do. We do have a bit of an unconventional audio setup, so I'm going to have to get that set up on my end here. I will not be able to hear either of our commentators, but you will be able to hear them, as well as the game audio, of course, and everything like that. You will also not be able to hear me as I talk during the run, but my commentators will be able to hear me. So they will be able to relay if I'm doing something important, like counting out loud, etc. But you all don't have to worry about that, because I know the host would like to speak, and so I'm not speaking over the host, or anything else like that, during the live run. So, I'm going to promptly, therefore, make Marcy and Lori go away from my audio. So, I will say goodbye to y'all in 3, 2, 1, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And if you're still listening to me, which you should be, and if the mic's still picking me up, yep, everything looks good to me. Can y'all just give me a quick hello, hi?
Yeah, howdy.
Hi. Yep, looks like OBS is capturing that, so perfect. We can get ourselves started. So, we're gonna go ahead and start the run in 3. Well, actually, let me check on my Global Hotkeys. Yep, we got them. 3, 2, 1.
Alright, we're off.
This is Plants vs. Zombies. If you've never seen this game, which is probably not very likely, but it's possible, some people call it a tower defense game, and I guess it technically is. Zombies are gonna walk from the right side of the screen to the house, and you need to stop them by planting plants. In this first level, there's only one row of what will eventually become 5 that the zombies can walk on. So, this level's really simple. Just like putting pea shooters down on the ground to shoot the zombies as they show up. You'll also notice that the sun is kind of just heading right towards the cursor, and this is something really cool about the console version of the game. You can press, I believe it's the left trigger? I don't remember the
Yes,
exact
it's the left
thing.
trigger.
Yeah. And any sun on screen will just instantly gravitate to your cursor, and in this version you just have to cursor over sun to pick it up, which is going to be really important when we can plant our own sunflowers. But in like the PC and DS versions, you would have to go find the sun and click on it. But in this version, we can harvest sun just without needing to know where it is.
Yeah, it's fun to note as well. This strat was actually not known by Satan when she first started doing the blindfolded runs of this game. This is a mechanic that only really exists in the console version like this, and so it's a little unintuitive. There's nothing in the game, from what we know, that necessarily points to it unless you go into the controls, which we didn't need to for this as well. So that was a really nice thing to be able to raise the consistency of the run overall. Having that. Now, of course, this can be done without that mechanic too, and there were multiple successful runs that actually made that happen before we discovered this too. But for sure, we can see the sun just entering the screen here and then immediately getting picked up. Helps with the sunflowers that we have down here too. And yeah, you know, you might notice as well, Lori, there's a zombie going along that bottom row right now. I wonder why she might be doing that.
Yeah, you
She
do
forgets
have
she
an
has 3
extra
rows?
line- Maybe. But there is an extra line of defense in this game. There is the lawnmower here. When the zombie makes it all the way to the lawnmower, it's going to activate, and it's going to run over every zombie in that row, and that's actually going to make the game not spawn zombies in that row for about 2 waves. And when we see a wave, we should talk a little bit about how this game spawns zombies. Pretty much this game spawns zombies in waves. When it's time for a wave to spawn, a certain amount of zombies, depending on a number the wave has, the wave's HP, will spawn. And that actually gets into how Plants vs. Zombies can be speedrun, which is the 50% rule, which we'll talk about in the next stage. But in this stage, what you saw happen was Satan set up a sunflower at the far right of the screen on row 1 and a pea shooter on row 2. So when she didn't hear the sunflower getting eaten or the pea shooter firing, she knew the zombie was in row 3 and just kind of let it go to the lawnmower while reinforcing the other 2 rows so that they could get the damage faster. For beating that stage, we get the Cherry Bomb, which is the first instant kill plant in the game. And it's really strong, especially on this level where there's only 3 rows. It hits a 3x3 radius. So that will just instantly wipe out, like, it can wipe out any zombie on screen if the zombies are still on the right side of the screen there. But as we get into the 3rd level here, and we have more rows and more zombies to deal with, now is a great time to talk about the actual method in which speeding up this game is done. Do you want to talk about the big rule?
Ah, yes, the 50% rule. This is the mechanic that makes Plants vs. Zombies speedruns as interesting as they are. Essentially, each wave that exists in this game, when you're having the zombies, it's just one zombie here to start out, but we'll be seeing more and more near the end of this run, especially later on in the game too. Once you have dealt 50% or more of the total health pool of all of the zombies that are in the current wave to that current wave, it's more like 35 to 50%, but 50% is generally what we point to as like that median point. For reference there. Once you have dealt more than that 50%, that will cause the next wave here to spawn. And so we focus on the total health pool instead of just the total amount of zombies alive, as there are some zombies that have more health than others. In this level, we will be getting introduced as well to the Conehead, which has just over twice as much health as the normie regular zombie that exists in this game here too. So if we were to get one Conehead zombie and one regular head zombie spawn in at the same time, if we take out the Conehead zombie, that would immediately satisfy the 50% rule and start that next wave as well. Despite despite having only 50% of the zombies down. It had more health, and that total health pool is really what matters here for being able to trigger the next wave happening.
Yep, and a really important part of the blindfolded game here, you might be able to tell. If you listen to the pea shooter shooting the standard zombie in row 2 and the cone head in row 1, it is a different sound effect. It's a more like plasticky bonk sound when a cone head is attacked. So that's something that Satan can use to still know what's happening in like what's happening on screen. Whether she knows what row is in is a little bit of a different question, but
yeah,
unfortunately we lose the sunflower there.
And I would say this is also a good time to mention too, for those of you familiar with blindfolded speedruns in particular, there's something in this current recording that might be a bit unusual for you, in that there is music playing in this game. Almost always blindfolded speedruns will require no music, no sounds besides the main sound effects being played in order to, she made it work and that's what matters, and the cherry bomb's gonna clear them all out once they fully spawn in, so it's all good. That's what instas are for, and we'll talk about the different types of plants later too. But the reason we have the music actually playing in the background is the wonderful Laura Shigahara, who, that is true, losing track, it can be very easy too, because it wraps around on the LBRB up there too. The ever wonderful Laura Shigahara is the artist who made all the music for this game as well. And part of the charm of this game is that the music is reactive to what's currently going on in the screen. So when you have those big waves, you'll have the drums, the percussion get in, and the music will just get more aggressive to show where you are in there, and just to add some extra oomph to the bigger waves coming in here too. And this is super useful in a blindfolded run like this, because that can help cue exactly when a big wave is coming, or just a lot of zombies are on the screen at one time as well. It really helps with consistency.
And something interesting here. So Satan knows there's not a row 1 zombie, and in fact, she just figured out it's row 5. So I guess what I was about to explain isn't fully coming into effect. But there is kind of a timeout when it comes to the 50% rule, where eventually the game will just spawn another wave anyways. And that's something that you will usually see if it's a situation where Satan doesn't start attacking the row the zombie is in, and eventually the next one spawns anyways. That's what's happening there. You can see the zombie is spawning now, and that's usually you want to see that on the first wave, but you don't want to see that going forward, because you want to spawn the zombies as fast as possible, so you can, get to the final wave as fast as possible. But by taking as long as possible on earlier waves, that gives us a lot of time to build up a lot of sun, so that we can just start getting through zombies really quickly in later waves.
Yeah, right now we see her trying to figure out, she was waiting for that last wave zombie to get there, and she wasn't exactly sure where it's at, so she was trying to see if there had been any zombies that snuck into the back row and ate one of the sunflowers, and then was eventually able to place the pea shooter to find, oh, it is indeed in that second row. There's a lot of that sort of digging around trying to find where the plants are by, if you try to place a plant on top of another plant, the game hopefully gives you a little sort of like, you can't do this, place this thing here, which is really useful to figure out which row has been eaten by zombies too, if we're not able to figure it out otherwise. And also just to see which particular plant might have gotten eaten too. This will be expanded upon on the level 1-6 and further on, as the shovel item we'll be getting on 1-6 also allows us to do the same thing, since you can tap on a plant with the shovel without actually removing it in this game, since you have to hold it to confirm your option. And that'll also be very useful for figuring out where plants are. And also non-plants too, because that also works on things like graves as well.
Yes, but since we're only going through day here, we're not going to see any graves, but it's still useful for further into the game. At this point, we are waiting for the zombies from Wave 9 to die completely so that Wave 10 will spawn here, which every time you see this huge wave spawning, and a zombie like with a flag, that is 10 waves. So if a level has multiple flags, it'll just be every 10 waves, and that level will take 20 waves instead, or something like that. But this is another 1 flag level, which means it's just 10 waves. And Satan trying to set up a cherry bomb here to end off the level, but unfortunately just not very high on the sun. Still gets a little bit of a faster kill.
Yep. Oh, we actually get the shovel on 1-4, excuse me. It first
Yes,
is used
but-
on 1-6 because you can't do it in Walnut bowling. Yes, and then here we can see the actual plants. The holding down the B button on the controller, you have to hold it down for about a second or so to fully do that, and we can actually hear Satan talking in the comms, counting out the amount of blocks to go for it, because those plants always spawn at the same place for this.
And now it's time for Walnut Bowling.
Yay, Walnut bowling! Once again, we're glad to have those lawnmowers.
Yes, we're very glad to have those lawnmowers. This is our first gimmick level, which means it's also our first conveyor belt level, where instead of, picking our own plants and planting them at will, plants come down a conveyor belt. In this case, it's just walnuts and the rare Explodo Nut variant, which you just saw there, where the goal is to pull them into the zombies and take them out. This level seems really scary, but as long as you just, try and make sure you're spacing out the rows you're putting the walnuts in, and kind of using the sound to see how close you are or how far away the zombie is, you usually have a sense of what rows are in the most danger, and ideally you can take them out pretty quickly without too much fear. And this level's really short too. If you see the bottom right, the level 1-5 progress bar, we're already pretty far, to the point where we're 1 wave away, I think right now, honestly, to the point where if a lawnmower got consumed, that row would probably not see zombies for the rest of the level.
Yeah, most likely. But fortunately for us, too, with the way the lawnmowers work as well, as long as we clear everything out by the huge wave 2, we know for sure that we've beaten it, since the lawnmowers, even if you lose them all right on the last wave, it'll still count as victory.
And we see the huge wave here.
I think we might even see her end up well, probably not after that, but a couple lawnmowers there might have sped it up depending on how far they go.
Yeah. I mean, we're about to hear one go off right here, unless... Oh my...
An amazing snipe by Satan, really showing those zombies who is the boss, and also doing exactly what needed to be done to prolong the level. I was really hoping she'd get that second row as well, but that's okay. She's gonna get the third one. Now, is she gonna go for the top row by chance?
I think she's just trying to find the zombies at this point.
That's true. Yeah, nothing there. Oh, the level's still not done, so she has to send another one. Explode! Nice.
Yay!
Good luck at the end. Alright, and so, yep. Yeah, once it stops letting you being able to place walnuts there at the end, you can know for sure you won, because there's otherwise not a audio cue for it.
Yeah, but the conveyor just stops you entirely.
Yep.
And now we get Potato Mine. Potato Mine, isn't gonna be, huge, but it's usually a very good plant. It's just, it's good when you know where the zombies is gonna be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, it's hard to really set up the potato mine correctly when you can't actually see where the zombies are, since there is a cooldown period, or I guess a heat up period, in a sense, where you place it down and then it has to get charged up and ready to go off, Spudinator style. So we might not see it be used in this, but it does have the occasional purpose. Just depends on how things end up going in here. Let's see. And with that sunflower getting eaten, she now knows that there's a zombie up in the top row as well, so I bet we're about to see her place that pea shooter there. Yep, there it is.
Yep.
And let's see. And with that zombie getting to the sunflower too, she knows it's either in 2 or 3 rows right now. And so she's going to give it a moment to run over the lawnmower and then try to, okay, I guess she's placed it on the second row too, so she doesn't have to check it that way. But you can always, try to plant a plant on top of another plant as well to see if there is a plant there or not. And that 4th pea shooter was also placed at a good time too. Those kind of take a while to get down, especially with only 1 pea shooter.
Yep. And with the last pea shooter there, the whole lawn is enforced, which seems pretty good for now. But if you notice during the zombie preview, this level introduces a new type of zombie that we are very scared of in the blindfolded game. That we will be seeing
yes.
soon.
I think it's gonna be next wave. It'll come in. There it is. There's the Vaulter.
So these guys are very scary. As you can see, they're running faster than standard. When they get to the first plant they see, they're going to jump over them. And that's going to be a little bit of a hit to the defenses. Now, she was able to get a second pea shooter down in time to actually take care of the Vaulter, and at this point, almost every row has 2 pea shooters, which is really good, unless a Vaulter is like being body blocked by spawning in behind another zombie from a previous wave. But yeah, in like normal gameplay or like just runs of this game, often you'll see a Vaulter show up and you'll just like put like a cheat plant on the right side of the screen to get the pull off of the Vaulter. But since in a blindfolded setting, it's usually safest to try and set up a lot of defenses near the left of the screen. You don't really know where those Vaulters are going to be, and you can't really stop them efficiently. This last wave is also always going to summon a Vaulter, but this Cherry Bomb is actually going to be perfectly placed to stop it, which is really good here. That was a really good final wave.
That was done well.
Yeah.
I do also want to point out the first row that she added the 3rd pea shooter to was the second row as well, as she is keeping track of these things, since she knows that the second row is the one without the lawnmower. That's the one that needs to be protected the most. And then placing that cherry bomb in the middle there made it so that even if there was a Vaulter in the 1st or 5th rows, which the counting of the rows is the 1st is at the top, 5th is at the bottom, and then columns 1 to 9. Am I counting that? Yeah, 1 to 9. 1's on the left, 9's on the right. It doesn't matter if the Vaulter had gone to the lawnmower. The lawnmower would have ran it over and everything would have been good. And yeah, with that, we've got the snow pea now on this level. We likely will be seeing this be used once the initial defenses are set up as well, since it not only does the damage like a pea shooter, but it also slows down enemies, and that's going to be super helpful, especially for those Vaulters too, since that slows down how quickly they're running to the back line. Yeah, we'll have that. There's a specific audio cue as well when a zombie is first hit with a snow pea too, which helps to keep track of if there's something fast running ahead of another zombie, depending on how many zombies are on the screen. And like where they are overall. And yeah, this is also the final level where we won't be having a seed select. We'll have a seed select at the start of the next one too, since we've now fully filled up our seed bar at the top.
And we're seeing a lawnmower pop here on row 2. And row 4 is also still completely undefended, but there's still a lawnmower there as well, and we'll also hopefully be seeing something there soon. A lot of sun right now, so we might be able to see that snow pea sooner than we think.
Mm-hmm. You'll also see when she first placed down that pea shooter after the mower went off as well, she put it in row 2, as she was actually checking from the fourth row up to the second row to see if anything had been placed yet. And then in general, it's just faster to actually place pea shooters on the second column compared to the first column as well, since if they're closer, their shots hit the zombies quicker too. Of course, now we have a limited amount of space to plan our plans to, so we're going to be having them be farther back on the left side. Ooh, that bolter should be fine with the 3 pea shooters.
With 3, yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, we should be good. But yeah, the faster the zombies get hit, the faster they go down. It's simple rocket science. And also fans of symmetry, however you pronounce that, in your Plants vs. Zombies, you will not be getting that in this run, of course. We are going for speed and not for aesthetics.
I'm sure this is an aesthetic to someone.
True. True. Eventually this plant will go down. I'm not sure if she knows how many sunflowers she has down. I know she's had 2 in the... I know she knows she's had 2 in the mean. This is also the first double flag level that we have too, so this is gonna be a long one.
That bolter should die before too much bad happens.
That should be fine, especially since it's vaulting over the sunflower and not the pea shooter. It does take a couple steps before it has a chance to eat anything. Oh, we're good too.
And it even dies, yeah, before it reaches the sunflower. But see, this is the kind of situation that can be scary when it spawns behind another zombie. But not only is that like the best guarded row, but we also get the snow pea down in it, so now the zombies are gonna get slowed down, and that's gonna make vultures so much easier to deal with. Even though at this point they are already kind of just going down.
Yeah, getting that the snow pea up on the second row as well really helped us out here too. She didn't necessarily prioritize the fourth row in the same way, since she has a sunflower down in the fourth column, which does mean with the 2 pea shooters that she'll be able to take out the vulture guaranteed unless something is body blocking it. But now that more zombies are starting to spawn, since these are in the later waves, we're able to start having enough sun to get the snow pea out, and so that should just even up all the consistency. We should be pretty fairly safe, I would say, at this point, especially with a well-placed cherry bomb in the final wave.
Yeah, I think at this point we're pretty safe. We kind of are already really good dealing with the scariest zombies that spawn in this level, in the coneheads and the vultures, so it's not really too much of a concern at this point.
Let's see. She's trying to get that snow pea down.
Yeah.
There it goes over the top, and we're fine.
I was gonna say, I don't think the vulture is gonna be able to actually deal damage to the pea shooter after the jump. And at this point, every row has the snow pea now, so I would be surprised if we have a problem.
Yep. Now she's double checking right now too to make sure everything is shored up in the back as well. She's gonna put an extra pea shooter down there, as that's the one place she can find a hole, and that's just gonna help speed this whole thing up too. And she's gonna normalize herself on the top and bottom row as well, just to be able to be sure that she's placing it right in the middle for this. And
getting
perfect.
a lot of the code heads in that one.
That was good. That really helped speed this up.
Just waiting for this top and bottom to go down, and it will be
Perfect.
into 1-8.
Yeah, so here's the first instance of the seed select in this as well. I believe we're just going to be taking everything except the potato mine in this, as everything else is far more reusable for this overall. The chomper is kind of similar to the potato mine, excuse me, in that it's an instant kill of a single zombie. The potato mine hits everything, I think, that's within its radius, like right on the block in front of it, or the space in front of it. The chomper only does it one at a time, and it is reusable. It just takes a while after eating a zombie to digest it. So it can be placed to instantly take out a zombie as needed, which is really useful to have alongside the cherry bomb too, to very quickly take out zombies, especially in runs where you can see what's going on, because a well-placed chomper can easily take out a buckethead zombie, which this level will also be introducing too. You want to explain the buckethead zombie and why it's actually not that scary for us in this run?
I mean, it's scary.
It's scary, but less so than the last zombie we saw.
Yeah, I mean, the buckethead zombie does have the benefit of moving at the same speed of like the standard zombies. However, the amount of health it has compared to the health gap between Conehead and Buckethead is a lot larger than the health gap between just standard zombie and Conehead. Sorry, I blanked there.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, unfortunately, a lot of mowers are gonna go early here, which can be scary for the sake of trying to deal with the bucketheads.
Yeah, unfortunate with that zombie being right next to the pew shooter. Just a bit unlucky with this.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah, that 50% rule as well with the total health. It's not always consistent the amount of zombies that you will get in each wave too, and so there is some amount of reaction that you have to be taking to this. Like in that level that introduced the Vultures, for instance, there's a guaranteed one in that 6th wave, as we mentioned, but you could get as early as the 5th wave, and you could have even more in later waves too. A lot of this is just trying to normalize the process of planting plants in order to cover as much as possible, shoring up the defenses in the areas you know you don't have that mower backup available to you, and just doing your best to just keep it nice, smooth, and steady until, you know, the end, when we just explode as much as we can.
Yeah. And here we have the buckethead spawning in that top row. Tried to make a guess on where she thought it was not correct.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a bit farther back than that, so we're going to see this mower go on the top row here.
Yeah, we at least had the benefit of the chomper, or not the chomper, the buckethead going to a mower row.
And since there's still a couple waves as well, these chompers that have been placed likely will get an opportunity to actually eat more than once too, so there's still value in them even if they weren't able to take care of that buckethead.
Absolutely, and with the conehead spawning on the top row, this is not even a horrible mower to get popped. Even if it means that top chomper might not see much.
Yeah, my only concern with it would be that it sped us up too much, so we're not going to quite have as much sun going into the last wave here. But she shored up the defenses here with having a couple chompers at the top too, and I think that likely should cover all the zombies that we'll expect to see there unless we get extraordinarily unlucky.
If she knows what she's doing, we will probably, ideally, see the cherry bomb on row 4 here.
I think both 3 and 4 will probably be fine.
Yeah. In fact, getting the...
And we got the buckethead, yep.
Getting the buckethead, but there are a lot of zombies in that bottom row. There is also the mower still down there, so that's good, but it might take a while in this bottom row. Unless she's able to place the chomper.
Oh,
no.
Just one off. Yeah, she tried to go for a little bit faster there, and it didn't quite pan out.
Yeah, and that's something that actually, if it worked out, we would have seen something really good about Comper in a speedrunning context, where, you know, if a more dangerous zombie, or even in the middle of a level, a zombie from a previous wave is just, like, behind another zombie getting body blocked, you can use a chomper to just kind of insta-kill it. Like, without it having to be in the out in front position. There it is, though.
There we go.
And now we are one level away from the final level of the world. And the final level in a world is another conveyor belt gimmicky level. that usually just because of the conveyor belt spawning plants at a steady pace, we like those ones in the blindfolded context. So 1-9 is probably the last like super scary level
For sure.
in the run
Yeah.
here. At least in the daytime. In the full blindfolded run, I'm sure this is not the last hard level in the game, but
Yeah, and for this level, we'll basically be seeing a combination of the strategies that we've seen over the last 3 levels too. So yeah, let's really see how that strategy has come together here too. And that sunflower being placed in the top right here to start out, really coming in handy. She knows to get a pea shooter put down as soon as possible because we really don't want to be losing our sunflowers if we can otherwise avoid it. The sun production is super important for those insta plants.
we're getting another top row on wave 2, which is really good. Just speeding along here, still getting decent sun. Gonna be able to plant more sun, plant more pea shooters.
No, I forget. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the minimum distance you need to place a pea shooter away from a zombie to guarantee that you'll kill it is that 4 tiles away or 3 tiles away?
One of the two. I'm not completely sure.
All right, an average of 3.5 tiles is the distance that the pea shooter needs to be placed away from a zombie in order to guarantee that it gets taken down. For the specifically zombies without any sort of accessorizing going on.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, so we get the pea shooter placed down on this cone head row in row 3. But a vaulter is coming in row 5. And this is one of the scariest parts of 1.9, is that there are now vaulters, and we're eventually going to see bucket heads in this same stage.
Yep.
So I think we might lose a sunflower in row 5, but I think the single pea shooter will not
It'll be fine.
falter. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll get a
Ooh.
chomp on it, I think. Yep.
Yeah, it will get one here, right?
Yeah. Plus a sunflower, but ultimately we're still looking good.
Looking very good. Still has decent sun. Has 2 pea shooters in 3 rows right now. Is super strong.
Yeah, just the amount of counting you have to do as well. Just to remember, I've planted this amount of pea shooters in this row, this many sunflowers as well. There is so much focus and just so much critical thought going on in this too. It's really cool to see it all come together and just be as consistent as it is as well. Like it's a pretty simple game when you're playing with sight, but there's a lot of randomness that you don't really expect to be in here until you're having to go about it without your sight.
And now it should be time for the first big wave of the level here. Which we'll see what spawns during it. We have the bucket head in one of the maybe the worst row for it to spawn in at this point.
Yeah, unfortunate that's spawning there just because it's the least short up defense-wise.
Yeah.
Now, I do think if she's been keeping track of it, if she starts hearing, once it gets to the first plant, only 1 pea shooter hitting it at a time, she should be able to quickly figure out that it's going to be row 2 as well. That's there. Oh, the vulture coming in is dastardly as well.
Yeah.
She ended up figuring out through that too, but I'm wondering if we might see a cherry bomb come out here to take this out. Like, it should be fine.
Yeah, the mower is still in that row, but
Yeah.
she has to figure out that row needs to be reinforced, and we just don't know if that's gonna happen.
This should be the only row logically. That's unfortunate timing. Yeah, a little bit unlucky. We might see the cherry bomb try to go off so she can keep that pea shooter, and I do think it's the right play. Oh, not quite. Just isn't the sun for it.
Not quite, but that's it.
Oh, but that's
Cherry bombing
probably
zombie right as the bucket head spawns in that row. I think.
that worked out actually. Yeah, and then okay, putting the walnut down too, just to stall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's a very good idea.
I think we're actually fine. She sounds like she's a bit more like worried about this, but this is giving us a chance to catch up on the sun here, and I think this could end up working out well. But we got another conehead in round 4 too. I think once this mower comes off, we're only a few waves away from the big wave. As long as that cherry bomb is placed correctly, I think we'll be okay regardless.
Yeah. It's also good to note that we don't have to deal with. In theory, once a new wave spawns, we do not have to deal with zombies from the old wave.
Yeah.
So, like, that bucket head could have stayed on the walnut as long as we wanted.
Yeah, it would have been fine. I think ultimately, because we're doing it's too far forward. Yeah, unlucky there. It should be either 1 or 2 waves left to finish this up. We'll know once the top zombie goes. But as long as the cherry bomb timer comes off by the time of the big wave, I think we should be safe. It's getting tense. I think it might be the next wave.
Yeah, something would have spawned by now if it wasn't.
Ooh, yeah.
Final wave time.
Oh, and you know what? Yeah.
Just in time.
That's gonna make the difference here. Okay, we'll have to see where she's gonna put that cherry bomb here, but I think this might be safe.
I think based on something she said, she might be aware of the fact that row 4 has the walnut right now.
I think she is aware, yeah. I would agree.
But I have no idea what her plan is to handle it. Thankfully, right now, our one already used mower.
Oh! You know, I was about to say, I wasn't sure if that'd work. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that worked in this game.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
I don't think I have either. Yeah, it's just not aware of where this bucket head is right now.
That's fine. This is fine.
There's a mower up there, yeah.
In fact, we're probably going to see her potentially... is she going to remove the plants to let them go faster than the mower? Because it's safe now.
The bucket head.
I don't know. It's somewhere that only has 1 pea shooter right now. So I think she's currently checking to see where things are.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like she's probably used the chomper.
Yeah, she has the chomper queued up. I'm assuming she doesn't know where it is.
Yeah, she's not sure, so
But-
she's looking.
That's not gonna be a problem at all.
Yeah.
Once the mower hits.
There she goes. Oh, that was tense. We sure did make it through. Oh. And this is... This is a very winnable level. Why don't you go and explain this level, Laurie?
Yeah, so this is a similar level to 1.5 where we have the conveyor belt to give us our plants instead of just harvesting sun. We get access to every plant that we usually see in this world, with the exception of the sunflower. So the idea here is kind of a snaking strategy. So going to, start in the top left corner, go down, and then go to the next column and go back up. When you hear a cherry bomb, that is a cherry bomb. When you don't hear a cherry bomb, you go to the next tile you want to plant in. And the idea is that eventually every tile will have something. Whether that thing will be useful is debatable. As you can see, some rows we have snow peas and repeaters already, while the bottom row has a chomper and a potato mine sitting at the end.
What is this
And
cherry
there's
bomb look? There's so many. Why can't this be later?
Yeah, but by the time you get a good couple rows down, as long as most of them actually have pea shooters, or like something in them, that's good and fine. So it's just kind of a matter of, getting as many plants up as fast as possible
Yeah, fortunately, while the plants are random, it's just the consistency of actually getting things you can place down the board really helps. Since the main bottleneck we have typically is just sun, and then also the seeds coming off the pool down here too. Like, we don't really see this in the first world, but especially from Night, which is World 2, and later on, we would normally be seeing a lot of plants being placed, specifically just the body block things, especially a puff shroom, which is the first plant you get. Actually, the plant you get at the end of this level, because it's a free plant that you can place down without any sun. It's useful in Night, but it's also just very useful to be a body, because sometimes that's just all you need.
Yeah. The category that I played most in this game is all mini games, and there's a mini game where we bring puff shroom just to be a body. So the value of body blocking is really nice.
I think we should see that zombie get eaten before he eats the shooter. Just barely. Ooh, and that cone head being taken out was super clutch. Wow.
Yeah, it was.
And she can tell it was clutch too. Yeah.
This is not a bad situation to be in at the first wave. The middle row is a little interesting with the gaps in it, but almost every plant in there is a shooter type. So
yeah,
it's far from a poorly defended row. I would definitely give like best defended tier to our top row right now.
For sure. Oh my gosh.
Look at how fast that bucket head went
the
down.
Triple repeaters with the snow pea backing it up. Actually, quadruple repeaters in that row. Oh, that's tough. That bottom row though with the chompers as well, it really helps with the vultures, and it's honestly not doing too bad either.
Yeah, that getting the walnut on the column 9 is pretty good there.
Oh, for sure. There's another cherry bomb. It looks like she's probably going back now to see if there's any shoring up of past defense that she needs to do. And so she's currently checking each plant using that shovel tapping technique you mentioned earlier, just to make sure nothing is actually missing here. Okay, now she's just trying to find anything. So I don't think we explained this earlier. The nice thing about playing on console, Xbox 360 in this instance, is that the D-pad for the Xbox 360 actually allows this game to be played grid-based. If we were to use the cursor breaks away from the grid and can go anywhere, but will still be planted based off of where, like, what it's mostly covering. But that D-pad being grid-based really allows us to be able to line things up that with the cursor we just couldn't do. It's not easy to consistently be like, I'm gonna hold it for this amount of time to go away the right, when you can just tap the D-pad 9 times and be all the way in the right column.
Yeah. And I think at this point, just kind of spamming to see if a cherry bomb will put it to work, which we've been having a lot of fun with cherry bombs so far. If we get a cherry bomb on those buckets, there's like 3 bucket heads at the top right.
Yes! Huge!
I think this bucket head might be like the last zombie before the final wave.
This should be it, yeah. Unfortunately, she's got zombies placed there, so yeah, we just have to wait for it to go down, but we should be fine, and hopefully we'll see how the repeater is going to be placed probably in the top column, or the top row, last column. Here, so we won't get those 2 cherry bombs unless one of the repeaters gets eaten, but that would be a really flashy finish. This otherwise really good run. There's been some really interesting moments in this I have not seen just in the other blindfolded attempts I've watched her do, or just look at that. Plant versus zombie speedruns in general, so.
Yeah. The bucket head on the bottom there. Not a great damage row. But, I mean, hey, maybe it's not one that gets
Yeah, it'll be fine once the Walnut seed.
That chomper is so close to doing
it's hungry.
the best job ever.
That chomper is greedy and it wants all of it. It wants the bucket, it wants the zombie, it wants all of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it will go unsatiated.
And that is time for Blindfolded Day. That was awesome.
That was... I actually wonder what the time is. She might have actually saw the time for this. I wonder if this is record.
World record. Yippee.
It is indeed world record. Okay, she's telling us we can hear in our mics.
Okay,
she's gonna turn that on here a bit. Okay, congratulations.
World record. Sub 45. Yippee.
That's awesome. That one was good.
Thank you.
Oh my
That
gosh.
1-9 nearly gave me a heart attack, but I'm very happy with that.
You were a lot more fine than you thought in 1-9.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you might have known what was happening, but like a lot of the scary things spawned in rows where you had mowers.
Yeah, you were shoring up the defenses in row 4 of 1-9 as well with those walnuts, and there was a mower there the whole time.
Really?
So that was
I
totally
thought
fine.
that the mower was gone from there. That's why I was
No,
focusing on
it was
No.
only gone in row 2.
Wow. Oh, only in row 2. I thought both
Yep.
of those were gone.
Yeah, you also
Yep.
got like a lot of good cherry bombs in that last level.
Yeah.
That's good. I like to hear that. But yeah, that was the run. I'm sure y'all did an absolutely wonderful job commentating. I can't wait to go back and watch and listen. This will be a lot of fun. I hope y'all had fun
Yeah.
commentating. Are there any final thoughts that y'all have?
I just want to say I've never seen a vulture be ran over by a mower while it was jumping through the air, and both Lori and I were not sure if that's how it worked. That was a
Technically, there's,
wild
I
timing.
think, one frame of invincibility where the Vaulter can survive a mower, and it is a terrifying possibility.
It
But
was-
We thought it was
usually,
gonna happen.
usually,
We thought
we thought it was
usually it
gonna
gets run
happen.
over.
Yeah, it was. You'll see it when you watch later.
I'm sure I will.
That was probably frames away from ending the run.
well, I'm
very
glad it
cool
didn't.
though.
Yeah.
It sure didn't.
Even if we had lost a level, my estimate that I'm going to be submitting this to is quite generous. It'll either be a 1 hour or 105 estimate. Probably about a 1 hour is what I'm thinking right now. Given where I'm going on average, which is somewhere between this sort of 45-ish minute range and sort of 52-ish minute range. You usually have about one loss, if that. So yeah, I'm very happy that we locked in and got the world record on the submission video, though, so I hope you enjoyed the world record. We'll also be uploading this.
What was the final time?
Record. 44:57. That is a world record.
Wow, sub
Yeah.
45 in this is
First-
incredible.
That is the first sub 45 that has ever been completed. So, yeah, we're happy about that one. So, say hi, YouTube, both of you.
Hi, YouTube.
You're going on my channel, yep.
Ooh.
Yippee. So yeah, if you're watching this is both a submission video and it is also the world record. So enjoy that. Thank you both so much for commentating. This has been Marcy,
Yeah.
Lori, and Satan. I hope that if you're watching this and you're a marathon person, that you accept this. If you're watching this and you wanted to see the world record, I hope you enjoyed the fully commentated world record. Yeah, good stuff. I'm gonna end the recording in a couple
Thanks
seconds.
for having us on.
Yeah. All right, 3, 2, 1, bye.